In this video, we will go through the import setup for feed2feed. To create a new configuration, go to Integrations feed2feed. Make sure you are on the Import Configurations tab. Click the plus sign in the bottom right corner or press C on your keyboard. You need the access information provided by the sender, and it's often useful to have created a mapping document together with the sender beforehand. The field type from the sender's feed determines which fields you can use in your own feed. In the mapping document shown here, I have added the product groups of the product data in brackets after the attributes. This makes it faster to locate the correct product data. Back in the configuration, we must enter a descriptive name for the import. Then we enter the access information received from the sender, which includes the URL of the feed you are retrieving from, client identification, client key. Next, we must decide whether products should require approval before import or if updates should be synchronized without approval. We then choose the product identifier in our feed for the products we receive. If you use a shared item number, you can keep this as the identifier. Alternatively, you can select alternative product number in feed or an attribute containing the supplier's product ID. If you have multiple suppliers, which is often the case, you may encounter situations where two suppliers share the same item number while referring to completely different products. To avoid importing product data to the wrong product or receiving duplicate warnings when the import finds the same product ID on multiple products, you can use the supplier field in the feed configuration. If you do, the import will validate the combination of the chosen product ID and supplier ID. If a product already exists in your system with the product number you've set as product ID, but with a different supplier, it will be considered a new product. This prevents accidental overwriting of a product from another supplier that only matches on the chosen product ID. When choosing a product template, it depends on the scope of the import. If you only import products that fit one specific template, select that template. If the incoming products vary a lot, it may be better to use a template containing all product data fields. The template can be changed manually on a product later, and it will not revert to the template chosen in the configuration. If you click the fan icon at the top of the screen, you can check whether the connection is successful. Click Create when the configuration is ready. If the client key changes later and you need to update it, open the context menu for the configuration and choose Edit. Make the necessary changes and test the connection again. The connection test icon can also be found in the configuration list, and you may use it there as well. After the connection is created, open it and fetch the available fields from the sender by clicking the circular arrow. The data is sorted by data type and alphabetically within each category. At this point, the mapping document is extremely useful for locating the correct product data in your own feed to map to the fields from the exporting feed. Click the link icon to map the sender's field to the chosen field in your feed. Text fields from the sender can be mapped to fields in your feed that support text under Product, Text, and Attributes. This is why text-based data registers from the sender can be mapped to any text-based field on the receiver's side. If we map a data register to a data register, we must map each individual value to its corresponding value in our own feed. Alternatively, you can create a new attribute. Doing so will automatically create the data register attribute, and all its values will be retrieved and linked. However, this is not practical if you already have a data register attribute that corresponds to the incoming data. So in this example, we use the existing data register. If the sender has data register values that do not exist in our feed, this may cause errors if products arrive with values we don't have. In such cases, these values must be added afterwards. If you have a data register where the import codes or names match the senders, you can click Automatic Link to complete the mapping quickly. If Automatic Link doesn't match everything, the remaining values must be mapped manually and new ones created if necessary. In this configuration, many data register fields must be mapped. I'm not going through all of them since the process is identical to what we have covered. When mapping attributes in your own feed, you may need to create new attributes and then link them in the integration. Feed2. Feed allows you to create these directly in the mapping view. There may also be cases where unit values from the sender need conversion. For example, if the sender uses grams and the receiver uses kilograms, you can set a conversion factor directly in the mapping job. In this example, such conversion is not needed. Another consideration is whether to map all fields immediately. You can skip certain fields at first to run a controlled test, then include more fields later. The integration can be built gradually. Looking at packaging, packaging can only be mapped to packaging. Link the packaging fields you've agreed on. Custom attributes can also be defined on packaging in addition to the standard fields. To map these in feed2feed, you must select which packaging type they belong to and then connect the sender's custom attributes to the corresponding fields in your feed. Product header fields appear under Product in the mapping. These fields do not have to be mapped to matching fields in the receiver's feed, but in this case, we do. If you do not import the name field, new products cannot be created in the receiver's feed since name is required for product creation. Under Media Role, you see the media being exported from sender to receiver. This can be images, documents, or other files. Map each media role to the one that corresponds to it on the receiver's side based on your prior agreement. When mapping relations between sender and receiver, the receiver will only get related products if those products are included in the synchronization from the sender. If products are not included in the filtered search the sender has set up, they will not appear on the receiver's side. Now that the fields are mapped, we start a synchronization from sender to receiver by going to Integrations Feed, to Feed, and using the context menu on the configuration. If you selected no approval required in the configuration, only Synchronize All Products will be shown, and all products will be imported immediately. The two other statuses are available only if approval is required. Since we haven't approved any products yet, we must choose Synchronize All Products to bring them into the list of products awaiting approval. After starting the synchronization, you can see whether the job succeeded or failed. Go to Integrations Jobs and locate the name of the configuration. Here I can see the last status is OK, and if I open the job, I can view the list of synchronization runs. The first sync shows that 0 products were imported to feed, but if I open it, I can see that 65 products were retrieved, none imported yet, since they must be approved first. We now return to the feed2feed module to locate the configuration, and using the context menu, choose Approve Products. Here we find 3 tabs: Pending Approval, Approved, and Rejected. Under Pending Approval, we can approve products individually or click the icon above the rows for mass approval. We then choose whether to approve all products, only new products that need to be created, or only existing products that match based on the chosen product identifier. Here, I first approve products that already exist in Feed. Under Approved, I can open an existing product before importing new data from the exporter. We can reject a product from updating if something appears that should not be imported. The product is not deleted, it moves to the Rejected tab. You can reapprove a product at any time from the Rejected tab. Rejecting a product that has already received data from the sender does not remove that data, it only prevents further updates from the sender. Next, we will create a feed2feed dashboard to get quicker access to products in feed2feed synchronization. You can add feed2feed elements to an existing dashboard, but in this example, I create a new dashboard called feed2feed. There are 2 feed elements you can add. The feed2feed configuration element lets you choose a configuration and displays 3 circle charts showing percentages and counts: pending approval, approved, and rejected. You can reposition and resize the element using drag and drop. The other element lists all feed2feed configurations you have. If you only have one configuration, the configuration element is all you need. Once the elements are positioned and sized as you want, click Dashboard to view it, and clicking the elements gives quick access to the approval process. Now we'll create a scheduler that automates import times. Go to Integrations Scheduler. To add a recurring synchronization for feed2feed, create a new scheduled job by clicking the plus sign in the bottom right corner or pressing C on your keyboard. Enter a descriptive name, set the correct job type, and choose the configuration. Then choose how frequently the job should run and save the cron job. The frequency can be changed later by editing the scheduler. Click Create to save the scheduled job. To activate scheduled synchronization, click the clock icon to the right of the configuration so the line across the clock disappears. The scheduler also allows manually starting a job by clicking Start Job. If I do that and click the icon to the right of the clock, I can go directly to the job overview and see that this synchronization imported the 26 products that were approved. If I now go back to the list of approved products and search for one of them, I can, as shown in the video, demonstrate how the product looks after receiving data from the sender compared to how it looked before importing via feed2feed. Texts and product images have been imported in this example. Various attributes have also been enriched from the external feed. Feed2feed can be a fantastic tool if you want to share product data or products between feed installations.
Feed PIM by ISIS.